So, last night I played this game called Emily is Away. It's free, it's on Steam, I'd highly recommend checking it out. But it's not one of those titles where it's a quote-unquote gamey game. It's more of an experience. It gets under your skin and has you questioning yourself quite a bit. In fact, let me lay down the details for you. So we start up in this pixelated, retro Windows XP influenced desktop, and it's obvious, that this game was kind of influenced by old instant messaging services like MSN or AOL. Now, the full game has 5 chapters set a couple of years apart. One is set before you start college, the next is your first year at college, and so on and so forth until you reach your final year. Now, upon opening a new chapter, you'll have the opportunity to pick a new profile picture, and this is the real first opportunity the game gets to pick at you before you jump into the main body of the game. You get a set of 10 or 15 different pictures of various images ranging from pixelated animals to simplified versions of pop culture classics like 28 Days Later or Lord of the Rings. So all that aside, it kind of picks away at what your main interests are. I don't know if it actually has any influence on the outcome of the game or how Emily responds in this case, but it's just a neat little feature that shows that the game is kind of interested in you rather than you being interested in it. It's kind of a two-way cycle. So all that aside, once you get into the main core of the game, you jump straight into a chat with a girl called Emily. Now, Emily's an interesting character. Not because gamers like you and I stereotypically don't come into contact with a member of the opposite sex so often, but because of the things she says, and it's your job to figure out a way to respond to her. So started off, I played the game as a typical gamer would, methodically. Let me put it in this way, I did not want to click the wrong option on the get-go and lose the game. As I don't with many games, I want to, I don't want to fall at the first hurdle, so I played the stereotypical nice guy and tried to chat with her as I would a friend, and this got my brain cogs turning. I, as a player of a video game, think too methodically. In my mind, I just drew up this game plan. I was going to launch my plan in 3 phases. Phase 1, act like normal. Nice guy, which I am. I am a nice guy. There was that one time I ran over a group of starving orphans with a bus, but everyone has those days, right? Anyway, phase 2 was act like a total dick. Just act like a total asshole to her. And phase 3 was to try hook up with Emily. As weird as that sounds, me trying to hook up with a virtual artificial intelligence computer game character, but chapter 2 rolled around and I was ready with the bluntness, I was ready with the sharp-tongued comments, I was ready to call her boyfriend, which she got in the space between chapter 1 and chapter 2, which are set a couple of years apart. I was ready to call her boyfriend a total jackass just because in that moment, I was an angsty teenager with a serious case of I hate everyone syndrome. Then chapter 3 rolled around and I was ready. We spoke, she'd broken up with her boyfriend, I was pulling all the moves, I told her I'd always be there for her, yada yada yada, and she ended up coming over at the weekend. Fantastic. Game over, right? Wrong. She comes back in chapter 4, tells her I used her last summer, says things will never be the same again, says she's not sure if we can talk anymore. Oh dear. This is where Emily's Away started to pull on my heartstrings a little. You see, throughout the course of the game, I've kind of gotten to know this girl. She spills out all her emotions and it actually feels like you're talking to someone else on the other end. The game actually has you typing out these responses. You don't have to hit the correct, combination of letters. Say if I wanted to type apple, I wouldn't have to hit A-P-P-L-E. I kind of just scatter my fingers all over the keyboard and it types the word for you. But that aside, it does feel like you're actually talking to someone and typing to someone. So this girl who tells me, who her bio tells me that she starts out to love Coldplay, starts listening to Palms, who I think are a rock group, I believe. But whatever, she puts a depressing as crap message in her profile's bio, and then says I took advantage of her in her vulnerable state after her breakup. This is not going to go well. It's at this point that I kind of lost my train of thought. It kind of threw me off. As I said before, gamers think methodically. It's what we've been conditioned to do, but in this case, I felt the need to be myself and try repair this. This girl who's gone through the start of college, first year of college, whatever, now she's kind of her life's going down the drain a bit, it kind of hit something inside of me. And it's rare that games do that to me, especially in a text-based adventure. So from this point on, from chapters 4 and 5, I acted completely like myself. I replied how I would have replied. I used language I would have used without knowing, to be honest. I just started instinctively responding the way I would have responded. I totally forgot this was a game. And this fictional, faceless girl on the other end of this fake, false game, this false world, became a friend to me, and she became a friend that I was losing. It was kind of a surreal moment. Like, in the back of my mind, I knew this was a computer AI that I was talking to, but I still felt like it was real and I was losing a friend here. So I was typing frantically. I wanted to save this friendship, but goddamn did it feel awkward. And I feel like that's something that games don't always produce or have the capabilities to produce. I mean, this is a text-based title, meaning no character models, no facial animation, no ways of conveying human emotion apart from a few pixelated textual references on the screen, yet it still made me feel so bad for this girl. I mean, after a few more minutes of reaching level 5 or chapter 5, which I believe was the final year of college, and languishing in this awkwardness, she was really quiet and she spoke bluntly and sharply, and I just decided to end the conversation with her, which you get the option to do at the end. So since then, I've been thinking, what would have happened if I said this? What would have happened if I implied that? Would things be different if I played it again? And the thing is, I don't want to play it again. I mean, that was the story I picked. That was a reflection of the real me, and that's something can't be repeated. I think Emily is Aware is just a fantastic example of how gamers think methodically, and it just exposes the gamer's psyche. As soon as I found out this person was in trouble, I went completely in defensive mode. There was no more game plan. It just shows how certain elements in games like narrative can kind of expose the player and make them feel something else rather than trying to complete the game. So yeah, that's me signing off for now. I thought I'd just let you know. That was a little ramble and just, I don't know, something that caught me off guard last night. And it was a really surreal gaming experience, which you don't really come across nowadays. But that was me. I'll let you know the next time a video questions my sense of moral comfort. But just video games, everyone. There's a lot of different stuff out there. A lot of great stuff on the on Steam, on the free game store. I've noticed there's a lot of experimental games on there, so you could always go check them out. But aside from that, that's the video done. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you soon.